Hi everyone, welcome to PYF, Presha Yoga Fit, and I am Presha. In today's session, I will guide you through a few poses and stretches which will help you to release any tension in the hips. So if you've been feeling that your hips are tight by sitting on the desk for a longer time, this video is for you. Roll out your mat and let's get started. We will begin the practice today with a Firelog pose. So if you're seated like me on the length of the mat, just bring your right shin parallel to this edge of the mat. But if you're seated this way, bring the shin, right shin parallel to this front edge of the mat. So we bring the right shin parallel, and the left shin, we are going to stack it above the right shin. So flex that right foot slightly and then stack your left shin on top of your right shin. Now if you feel there is some distance between the left knee and the right foot, then feel free to keep a blanket or maybe a block. You can also place both the things together in order to just find filling up of the space with that prop. So bringing the chest, lifting the chest up and keeping the spine long, take a big breath in and gently press, even if you've kept a prop under, press gently with your left hand into this left thigh. Lengthen to inhale. And then when you exhale, slowly hinge forward and walk your fingertips forward on the mat. Keep walking those fingers slightly forward. Good, keep the spine long. And then slowly start to release the weight of your head. Begin to feel the stretch in the outer hip area. And while you are staying in this shape for a few breaths, soften through the face, soften the jaw, soften your cheeks. Then take an inhale, slowly lift the head up, walk those fingers back towards the body and release the pose. And we are going to do the same thing, now bringing the left shin parallel to the mat. So parallel to that edge of the mat that you're facing, and then stacking slight flexion in the foot, and then stacking the right shin on top of the left shin. Again, feel free to keep a block, a blanket under the right knee. Gently press down with the right hand, lengthen the spine, inhale first. Then with an exhale, hinge forward. Bring the fingers down. Walk your fingers slightly forward if possible. And then start to feel the stretch in that outer hip area. And when you start to feel the stretch, release the weight of your head. Holding this shape for a few breaths. Then take an inhale, lift the head up, walk the fingertips back towards the body. Release the pose. And now we are going to come staying seated on our sitting bones. We're going to place our hands behind us and bend into both your knees and step your feet down on the mat. Pressing your hands into the mat, lift up with the chest, keep the spine long. Keep your feet slightly forward. Now press into the mat with your hands and lift your hips up and bring your right ankle over your left thigh. Then slowly bring your hips down. Again, pressing into the mat with your hands, lift the chest up. Feel free to walk slightly forward here. You can stay here where we were right now. Or if you want to go slightly deeper in this stretch, then start to walk your hands slightly closer towards the body. You can also slide that left heel slightly closer to the body. Flex that right foot. So your chest starts to come closer to your right shin. Good. Keep drawing that right knee away from your chest. So you don't want to hug the knee in, keep it away. A good way to do this is that when you started from here, you can actually use the right hand to push the right knee or guide the knee away from your face, and then come back into maybe walking your hands slightly forward, lifting the chest, keeping the spine long, and holding for a few breaths. Good. And then slowly walk the hands back in order to release from the pose. Lift your hips. Bring the right foot down. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So left ankle over the right thigh. Bring your hips down. Flex the left foot. First with the left hand, push the left knee. Slightly guide the knee to be away from the chest. Then keep the chest lifted. Long spine. Walk your hands slightly closer to the body if possible. Chest slightly lifted up, and then feel the stretch for a couple of breaths. Good, and then slowly walk back with your hands, lift your hips up, bring the left foot down. Now we are going to bring those legs in a 90 degree angle. So first we bring the right shin, this time parallel to this front edge of the mat. Flex the right foot, so toe is pointing forward, making like an L shape and a 90 degree, so your knee and your hip is aligned and knee and the ankle is aligned. Now the same shape, form it with that left leg. So left knee, left hip, knee and left ankle, bringing ourselves in that 90 degree position. Good. Now with your hands behind, just walk your hands slightly more back. Just feel that stretch in the outer left hip area for a bit. Feel free to walk your hands slightly more back if you want to. Good, keep the chest lifted up. Breathe for 2 to 3 cycles of breath. And then slowly walk the hands back, keeping your hands back for support or your fingertips down. Then ever so slowly lift your knees up, and then you're going to come into the same shape, but this time you're going to be facing to this side of the mat, so the back of the mat. So bringing the legs back in the 90 position. Again, feel free to adjust a little bit. Just see that you're in that 90 degree angle. Once you're here, walk your hands slightly back. Again, be in this stretch for a bit. Feel free to walk them further back if that feels okay in the body. Keep the chest lifted. Let's walk the hands back then towards the body, and staying with the hands behind us on fingertips. Let's again lift the knees up and then slowly bring that same 90-90 with the legs. This time facing to the front of the mat and also facing your chest to the front of the mat. So right now we were kind of facing diagonally with the chest. We're going to face forward. Then take an inhale here. Keep the spine long so your hips and your shoulders are pointing forward. And exhale, slightly hinge forward. And maybe you walk your hands to the front and you stay here. Or if this is accessible for you, then you bring your forearms down. Feel free to keep a block or a blanket under your forehead so that it supports the weight of your head. Then take an inhale, lift your head, walk the hands back, and same thing now by lifting the knees up. Keeping your hands behind for support. Then again, 90-90, facing the back of the mat, chest, hips, shoulders facing now this way. Lengthen with the spine, walk the fingertips slightly forward, be here, or maybe you bring your forearms down, and then maybe you can place a block or you can place a blanket for a little support for the head. Nice work. Let's inhale, lift the head. Then slowly walk the hands back towards the body. And we are going to now come into a pigeon pose. So bring the hands forward, right under your shoulders. And bring the right knee forward so the knee is pointing forward. Extend the left leg back. Now again, if you do have a prop close to you, use a prop under your right hip. Place the prop for a little support. And hips and your shoulders pointing forward. Keep the spine long. Inhale first. Then exhale, bring your forearms down and release the weight of the head. Then take an inhale, lift your head, walk your hands back, and then take the same shape with extending the right leg back and bending into your left knee and taking it forward. Back with your hands under your shoulders. Take the right knee back, bring the left knee facing forward, extend the right leg back. Again, use the prop, use it under your left hip. Square your hips and your shoulders. That means these 2 points of your hips and our shoulders are facing forward. Spine first long. And then exhale. Elbows down, forearms down. Again, you can place a block here to rest your forehead. Couple of breaths. To just marinate in every stretch that we are practicing today. Then let's take an inhale. Lift the head up, walk the hands back. Good. Slowly take the knee back and let's practice Baddha Konasana. So bringing the soles of the feet together, you can bring your heels closer to the groin, or you can keep your heels slightly away so that it looks like your legs look like the shape of a diamond. So bringing the soles of the feet together, then inhale, lengthen, hold on to either your shins, or you can hold on to you can just cup your toes. But if this is not accessible, then just hold on to your ankles or your shins. Lengthen the spine. Inhale first. And then exhale, hinge slightly forward and just fold over. So release the weight of your head. And I do have a way that we can modify this. So you can place 2 blocks under your knees, so that you keep drawing the knees down into the blocks while you're here in this seated forward folded position in Baddha Konasana. And wherever your hands are placed doesn't matter. You can also place 1 block between the soles of your feet. And then you hold on to the block with your feet. So you inhale here, lengthen again, and exhale. You rest the forehead on the block. Again, keep drawing your knees down closer to the ground. So any variation is good, whatever suits you. All options will benefit in opening the hip area. Couple of breaths to feel the stretch. To be with our breath, to be with the body. And then take an inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Now slowly we begin to slow down further. So in order to end the practice, we're going to come all the way down onto the mat. And here we are going to lift up with the feet bending into your knees. Lift the feet up. With your hands, draw your knees away, draw them away from each other. Then lift the soles of the feet and grab the edges or the blades of your feet. Taking a happy baby. And then rock from side to side if that feels good in the spine. Slowly release the hands, release the feet. Bring the feet on the edges of your mat. Bring the knees in, knock your knees in together. Then take your 1 hand on the chest and 1 hand on the belly. Close your eyes. And if you would like to extend and reach your legs and arms out long, feel free to do so. And with your hand and with your both hands being placed on the chest, the belly, begin to notice how those hands rise and fall with every inhale and exhale. Soften the cheeks, Soften the jaw, shoulders, the arms, and the hands. Soften your belly, chest, the hips, legs, and feet. Feel free to be here in stillness for as long as you want to. So you can pause the video and know that it's almost the end, so you can just be in Shavasana or any other shape that you are in for a longer time. But if you have to go ahead, start with doing the things that you need to do, then just release the hands from the body, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms out and reach your arms above the head to take a big stretch. You can also extend your legs out long to feel that stretch all the way from the crown of the head till the toes. And then slowly release and turn to any one side. Then pressing into the mat or the ground, let's come up and join me in a sit. Bringing the hands to heart center to conclude today's practice with a sense of gratitude for showing up on mat and for finding this time for self-care. We honor the self, this body, and we honor the practice. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed the practice. I will see you in the next video soon. Take care. Bye.